Hello everybody, I'm back. This is Alethea Thomas. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, this is a channel where we talk about books and bookish things, bookish topics, and anything having to do with books, really. It's all about books. So if you love books, if you love bookish things, then you are in the right place. If you would like to like and subscribe, I would be ever so grateful to you. We're trying to grow our community here, and I would appreciate anybody helping me do that. Without further ado, we're going to get to the topic of this video. It is in the mood for reading. So I went with my children out to the pool recently, to the public pool actually, and we don't venture out to the public pool too often. We do have a pool of our own, but sometimes it's fun to kind of get out in the community and check out what they've got. They've got like slides also and things that I don't have in my pool because my pool is more of a relaxing sort of a pool. But while I was there, I decided, because this is something I always do, because when I always go to the pool, I always take a book. I took perfume with me, and whenever I am at, the beach or outside or in the water, I'm in the mood to read. Never fails. So I did get a couple of chapters out of perfume. And while I was there, I thought to myself, you know what? This might be a very good topic for a video. In the mood for reading. What puts us in the mood to pick up a good book and read? So I ask you that question. Think about it to yourself. What puts you in the mood to read? I'm going to share with you what puts me in the mood to read. We're going to go over three major topics here. I'm going to talk about first, setting the mood. Things that I like to use while I read. The next topic will be locations and where I like to read. And then the last topic will be reading methods. How I like to read. The methods I use to make reading more enjoyable for myself and keeps me in a nice mood to keep on reading. So if you're interested in any of those topics, please stay tuned and we're going to get right to them. One of the things that I find is key to the mood, keeping my mood elevated, keeping me in the mood to actually read itself, is a quiet environment. I really do appreciate a quiet environment for reading. I like a little bit of noise, a little bit of background noise is okay. I'm fine with that. But I do generally like a quiet, atmosphere. Nothing too loud, too abrasive, no screaming children, no loudly chatting people, nothing like that. Soft music is very appropriate, and we'll go back to music in just a little bit here. Next thing I think is key is comfortable furniture, especially a comfy couch or a comfy chair. I am going to show my comfy chair. I bought this off of Wayfair. It is an excellent chair. I will try to link the actual chair that I bought, but it is a wider chair. I think it's a double-sized chair, and it also came with an ottoman. Make sure that when you get a chair for your space, you measure appropriately. Make sure it will actually fit. I wanted actually a much larger chair, but that chair would not fit in my space. So when you do, go to purchase a chair, purchase something of high quality that you feel like is going to last you a long time. That is possibly my number one recommendation as an adult purchasing a chair. Get something comfortable, something that you're going to love looking at every time you see it. And try it out, especially if you can. With the chair that I purchased, I wasn't actually able to try it out because Wayfair didn't have a storefront that I could actually go and try it. But I tried other chairs that were like it. I went to, I think, IKEA. I also went to Crate and Barrel, and I tried out a few chairs that were just like it. And I really wanted a chair like that. Get it in a fabric that you will enjoy looking at, a fabric that you think will be nice and soft on your hands, something you'll love. Leather is an absolutely wonderful material, but me being a vegan, I really didn't feel like I should purchase leather, so I got a fabric chair. I believe that mine was something like a cruise adrift, I believe is what the pattern is that I got on mine. It's just a really fine navy blue stripe running through the entire fabric. So it's like navy blue and cream. It's perfect for me. And it goes with everything in my house. So if I ever need to move it from, one place in the house to the other, then it will match with everything. But, pretty much what I'm getting at there is research your chair before you decide to get it. And if you find the one, buy the chair, because you will have it for years and years and years if you treat it very well. Also, if you have children, Scotch guard the crap out of them or cover them when you're not using them, because children will get things messy. They always do. Personal experience in that department for sure. Enough about chairs, so let's go on to other things that kind of help set the mood. Candles. I love a good candle. I probably frequent White Barn, which is owned by Bath and Body Works. I probably frequent them way too often. I smell probably every candle they come out with every year. I do try to branch out and buy other candles, but man, I'm about as basic B as you could possibly be. I'm suburban mom. I just make my life easier and just go where I know that they are. Target also has extremely good candles. So does Walmart on occasion. I will smell scents that are there. Basically anywhere you could purchase furniture or home accessories, you can buy candles, and they're really good. I have gotten some absolutely excellent candles from TJ Maxx, for instance. You don't have to spend a ton of money on candles, but get something you like. Get a fragrance that you enjoy and isn't too overpowering or, takes away from your enjoyable experience. Do something nice for yourself. Get a nice scent that you love. Also, other beautiful objects around the house. I love to collect just interesting, beautiful objects. Bookends are probably one of the things that I buy the most of because I just like a really cool, interesting bookend. I like to buy odds and ends at antique stores. This is kind of one thing I purchased lately. I got it for like $2 or something, and it is cast iron. Really good deal there. I look for the best deals I can. If you have beautiful objects around, you love to look at them. And that also puts me in a pleasant mood and makes me want to read more. I like reading in a beautiful space. What can I say? The next thing I would advise is, again, going back to your background noise. If you like to have background music, put on background music. I love like light lo-fi. I like soft jazz. I love classical music playlists. Those are possibly the best. Classical music lo-fi is an interesting one I have actually experienced lately. Very intriguing. Occasionally video game music. And it has to be from like a more recent video game with like more orchestral music to it. But occasionally, yes, video game music can be soothing. Whatever you find soothing to you, if you like to listen to music while reading, then listen to it while reading. If you have a busy household, like I do, sometimes it's a really good idea to invest in some earplugs. Try a few different brands. I think that most earplugs work for most people, but sometimes they don't work for everybody. I found the Loop earplugs and they work wonderfully for me. I put the most noise canceling earplugs that I can in my ears. I don't hear a thing other than my own breathing. So yes, noise canceling headphones are also another great thing to invest in, especially if you like reading maybe somewhere, again, where it's kind of noisy or you have a noisy household. Those noise canceling headphones have saved my life Oh my gosh. I have some rather expensive ones that my husband gave to me because he actually got a new pair and didn't really use his old pair, so I've been using his. I don't really know that much about headphones. I think the ones that I have are really great. Wouldn't change anything for the world about them. I think that they're wonderful. Also, noise-canceling earbuds might be something also to invest in. I don't think the AirPods are noise canceling. I could be wrong, but if you want to invest in a decent set, you might try them out before really committing to buying, because those can be fairly expensive. So those are the things I recommend for setting the mood, no matter where you are. You know, just things I recommend in general. Make your reading experience more interesting. Locations. Location. So location has a lot for me. You know, it is very important to me when I read. Mostly I read in my office, my dedicated space for reading. I have an entire nook created just for that purpose. Again, my chair is sitting there. I have a pendant light that hangs down. It is what used to be a closet in a very small room. So I've made my entire office out of this old small room in this house. Did the bookshelves in one part of the room, you know, bookshelves on the other half of the space. Then the computers are in here, and then I have my little book nook that's built into the old closet. So it is a nice little contained space for me. It's nice and quiet, and I can close the door and lock it. That is probably the best feature of the entire thing, is I have a place I can get away if I tell my husband, hey, I'm taking a break for like 10 minutes. Are you okay with that? So I get away for a little bit. There is a cloud in front of the window now, and my lighting's all jacked up. So the next location I love to read is, again, what we started out with in this video, is the pool or the beach. There's just something so wonderful about the pool, and especially the beach. I don't know if it's the crashing waves, if it's the wind, if it's, you know, just the faint sort of noise of other people mingling around. The fact that you're out in the sun and you feel the heat on you and you just want to lie down and read something. It's possibly my favorite experience ever. If I was to, you know, reincarnate and live once again, I would just want to be on the beach all the time reading books. So there you have it there. But, you know, there's just something magical about it. I don't know if anyone else would agree with me on that, but it's possibly my favorite place to read. Another place, just cozy, comfortable place, is the bedroom. Read in bed. I read in bed all the time. I read to go to sleep. I annoy my husband half to death by having a book light on or the light on, especially if I'm reading a paperback. That's what the Kindle is absolutely wonderful for, is for reading in bed, because I can turn, you know, the light down and then turn it up if I need to. Also, again, the Kindle is wonderful for the beach. It's an absolutely fabulous device to bring for the beach. Also, I do recommend either a paperback or the Kindle. Don't get a bunch of sand in your Kindle. I've done that before, and it's kind of a nightmare to keep it clean, but it can be done. So just be careful with your Kindle if you're on the beach. And also, like, sunscreen and things like that, it's kind of hard to get that stuff off once you've contaminated it. The oily residue is not fabulous. Couches are probably one of the better places to read. Just a comfy chair, a comfy couch in your house, because it's your house, you know it, you're comfortable there, you're cozy, and it's just calming to be in your own controlled environment, enjoying your space and reading. So then, let us move on to reading methods. Lately, I've discovered listening to the audiobook and then physically reading the material as well. A very immersive experience to do if you're really into the book and you're listening to it and you're reading. One of the pitfalls, though, I have found with this method is that if you read faster than the narrator speaks in the audiobook, it can be a little bit disorienting. Also, if you are reading something that's been translated, for instance, War and Peace, I had a translated edition. It took me a while to find a translation in the audio form that was also the mod translation of War and Peace. So if you're reading physically one translation and listening to another translation, and the words, some of the little finer details, some of the wording is a little bit off, that can be kind of disorienting too as well. So I just wanted to warn you of that. Most of the time, though, if the book was written in English, you're not going to have any problem. Or your native language, you're not going to have any problems. So it's a very immersive experience. It's very enjoyable. I totally recommend it, 100%. The next reading method is Kindle reading. For some reason, and I don't know, I've heard other people say this before, but you feel like you're reading faster if you're reading on a Kindle, and you can see the little percent tick up as you're, getting through your book. So maybe it feels like you're reading faster. The Kindle also gives you a lot more control over, how large your text is. So I do feel like that helps, especially if your sight is getting a little bit worse over time. You can blow it up a little bit bigger, and I think that helps you. You find that size that's just right, and you kind of read the words faster. At that point, it's easier for your brain to process and make the sentences flow. There's something to that. I'm not a scientist, I have no idea, but I do think it definitely helps. So you feel like you're reading way faster if you're reading out of a Kindle. At least I do, for sure. That's just me, though. Then you've got, your traditional reading just out of, a paperback or a hardback or whatever. But, the downfall of that, of course, is you don't have any control over how the text is printed, the font used, the size, the amount of space that there is in the margins, page numbering, all of that. Editions vary greatly. So traditional paper reading. There you go. Reading while listening to music, again, I think is an absolutely wonderful way of reading anything. I like to get a mood playlist going in the background. If I'm reading a dark academia book, I listen to a dark academia playlist. If I'm reading a Gothic book, I listen to Gothic music. It just depends on what I'm reading. So for instance, with Perfume, I actually was listening to some French music in the background, and I believe I was listening to a little bit of opera maybe too. And, it was just a playlist of a bunch of classical music and some French music in there as well. So I thought that was really cool. I was reading Romeo and Juliet, and there was a Romeo and Juliet playlist on YouTube. You can find all kinds of playlists on YouTube with all kinds of music. If you're reading a book that happens in the Celtic regions, you'll find Celtic music. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I totally recommend it. It gets you in the mood, it gets you immersed, it gets you invested. It makes just things more interesting. So listen to music while you're reading. It's fabulous. I hope that everyone has enjoyed this adventure into the mood for reading. Are you in the mood for reading now? I want to know. Well, I think that wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for going on this adventure with me into, the mood of reading itself, where we like to read, what things we like around us, what puts us in the mood to want to read, the music we want to listen to, the environment. Make the environment yours. Is pretty much all I'm saying here. Make it comfortable, make it cozy. Wear comfortable clothing too. That's something else I didn't touch on, but wear something comfortable when you read. I think it makes all the difference in the world. And, just enjoy. absolutely enjoy. Thank you all so very much for, watching. As always, again, please subscribe and, hit the notification bell if you'd like to. I try to drop videos fairly often right now. I'm trying really hard anyway. But yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this again, and you have a absolutely wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.